We lost some seniors that were, key helpers. Every year in a small school, year in, year out, it seems like there's a handful of seniors that you just wish could have one more year. But, we've got a core group of guys coming back. Things are good with them, and their camaraderie is good. I know we took a tough one against Russell last week, but I feel like we learned a lot from it, and spirits are up, and, things are going to be good this season.
Okay, you mentioned a tough loss to Russell last week, but, really the whole MCL, it's kind of any given night. There's no easy one to say this is going to be an easy night and this one's going to be harder.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Every year it seems like every team's good, and Russell played well. We had some turnovers that killed us and some other situations that we just have to grow up and learn from. But otherwise, I think we've got a great staff this year put together, and we're staying positive, and there's still a lot of season left. So we're not hanging our head or, going to dwell on this one loss. We're just going to regroup and get ready to play the next one.
Have you had some young kids that have stepped up into some of the key positions that you lost players in?
Yeah, there were some shuffling around that we've had to do, and some of those fit in well, and then we knew that some didn't as much last game, and we'll, still need, 11 solid guys, but sometimes it's just moving them from one position to another.
Okay. How did your summer go? Did you have pretty good attendance in the weight room? Did you do much as far as training camps or anything like that?
We didn't, and I think everybody can probably relate. It's like summers are busy. There's a lot of kids, especially multi-sport athletes playing basketball, baseball. We put a solid camp in together. We like to hit a jamboree sometime in the middle of summer, but they didn't work out this year. But hopefully next year we get it to work. Same with the 7-on-7. We like to hit one each of those, and didn't make it work this summer. But I still think overall we had a really positive and good summer. Weight room numbers were great. Work ethics were great. We're just continuing to stay with that and just figuring out the best way to mold as a team.
Okay. Looking at Norton, new coach, but not really new coach, Coach Hawks. What do you know about their team this year?
Norton's, again, MCL team, they're good every year. Just watching them, they got athletes. They're probably saying the same thing we did. Just Oakley played well. Oakley did a lot of things. They made some first game mistakes, but I guarantee Norton's going to figure out how to fix them and move forward.
Okay. What's the keys to a victory this week?
It's kind of the same thing every week. Execution, growing from what we learned from last week, tackles, penalties, and just making sure that we keep emotions up even when a few things go wrong. Just keep our spirits high.
We lost a lot of seniors last year. We had a huge senior class, guys that had started for 3 years. We have Tyler Backman back at running back and free safety. Jayden Weigel returns for us. He's a senior, plays wide receiver, and is doing outside linebacker for us now. And then we have Dominic Valling, who also played for us last year as a wide receiver. And Gavin Callahan, he's a junior that's playing offensive line for us, started the first part of the season last year. So
really a new group of guys.
Yeah, pretty new group all the way across. It's been a challenge, and it's been a blessing. You as a new head coach, you kind of get the opportunity to kind of build your own within these new kids, and they're anxious to be taught. So it's been good.
Okay, you said new head coach, so you're new title, but not new to the group and stuff. Correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I was a defensive coordinator here for about 15 years. Haven't been in the head coaching job. I've been coaching for 26 years. Defensive coordinator in a lot of different programs. I was at Garden City for a long time, and then I came back home. Used to coach at Fort Hays for a while as a GA and the defensive line coach. So, yeah, I've been around the block a little bit. Just, this is my first head coaching gig.
You're only one game in, your last game. How did you think that you guys did in that game?
I thought overall we played really well. You look at the stats, stats, we dominated in every component. The only thing we didn't dominate was the score. We pushed down. We just didn't punch it in when we got to the red zone. A lot of that's my fault. Some of it is just, overthinking things. But that's part of being a new head coach. You just got to get a feel for what you're going to call. But I thought the kids played extremely well. I thought our defense did a good job. And Oakley's a good team. Coach Hennick does a great job with the kids. They were inspired. So it was disappointing, the loss, but in the same sense, I thought the kids played really well.
Okay, everybody's still healthy?
Everybody's still healthy. We're going to we'll get a kid back this week that didn't play in the first game, so that'll be good. Overall, we survived week 1 pretty well. TMP, they're an aggressive team. They kind of went back to the flex bone in terms of what they're doing. He's got a good quarterback. The Lyles kid's doing a heck of a job. The Gillespie kid's doing some great things, as a running back position and that halfback. They're a well-coached team. I've coached against Coach Stevenson for a while when he was at Plainville, now at TMP. He's a great coach, gets his kids inspired. I see nothing but good things from him. So it's going to be a battle on Friday for sure.
Okay, so what do you guys need to do to check one in the victory column?
We got to clean up our own messes, stop shooting ourselves in the foot, especially when we get to the red zone. And like I said, I got to trust my kids, let them take over. First game, we averaged 5 yards a carry. Well, don't pass. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you got the legs back there, use them. So it's just a matter of, our kids not making mistakes, which now that they've got a game under their belt, because most of them, that was their first varsity game. So it's kind of that growth curve between week 1 and week 2. So hopefully that shows up and hopefully everything goes smooth.
Hello everybody, welcome to Norton for the Nex-Tech Game Time pregame show. It's been a wild start to the 2025 high school football season, but tonight here we are in Norton as the Norton Blue Jays host the TMP Marion Monarchs in a Week 2 Mid-Continental League showdown. I'm Steve Stoltz along with my partner here, Tate Reynolds, and we're going to be bringing you tonight's broadcast. Both teams, well, they're coming in looking for a little redemption. Both teams lost last week. But before we dive more into tonight's game, Kate, let's talk about the 2025 season start. Week 1 was chock full of surprises all over the state of Kansas. 12 state-ranked teams, according to Cape Reps, lost their openers, including 3 returning state champions. So Gardner Edgerton and Andover Central lost, but here locally, Hoxie was knocked off last week by Osborne. So it's been a crazy start to the season. So and the thing about the Hoxie game, Kate, Osborne hadn't beaten Norton in 20 years, since 2005. So, and they got blew out last year here in Hoxie, 55-8. So you know that, well, Oakley had that day last week circled on the calendar. So Tate, what does all of this chaos mean for the state of Kansas as far as high school football? What do we expect this season?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's high school football. I mean, anything can happen. Any team can come out on any week and play some football against a team that can be better than them. We kind of watched that last week. You had Plainville 5th in the state preseason ranked. Phillipsburg knocks them out for the 4th year straight. So it's just one of those things. It's a sport of football. One team can come out and play better than the other, and it's a whole different ball game. Like you said, 5 state-ranked teams knocked off in the first time. We saw that, but we also saw some of the usual. Andover, 104-0 over El Dorado. I mean, there's just those games that happened. And tonight, like you said, both these teams coming to look for redemption tonight. Norton coming off a tough loss against Oakley, and obviously TMP coming off a tough loss against a tough Russell Bronco team.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a fun one tonight.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about TMP, Tate. They played last week Thursday night in Russell. They lost the game, but they had to move it up a night because official shortage. Right? They didn't have enough officials. But the TMP offense did show some flashes of promise. What really killed them, though, was the 4 turnovers. And, they were outgained by 125 yards in total offensive yards. But they managed to tie the game up late in the third quarter. They just couldn't get over that hump and ended up losing that game last week. So TMP has had 8 days to think about that loss. What is third-year head coach Grant Stevenson's message to his team this week during practice?
Yeah, well, Coach Stevenson, coming off a tough loss like that, especially having kind of an extra day to prepare for it, playing on a Thursday last week, looking at some stats, Russell rushed for 228 yards on the ground and also 166 air yards. It kind of goes back to last week's theme about defense. I'm sure he stressed that defense enough, and Norton coming out today, you don't know. They didn't have a good offensive week last week, so they know if they can keep Norton in the offensive slump that they kind of started the season in, they're going to be okay for today. But defense is what wins championships, as some people say. And I think that's a big case in the sport of football, and I'm a big believer in it myself.
Absolutely, and Norton is looking to bounce back from their loss last week to Oakley. They are under a brand new coach, Jeremy Hawks, brand new head coach. Jeremy has been on the staff for a number of years, so he's familiar, and the kids are familiar with him too. But like I said earlier, last week's loss to Oakley was their first loss to Oakley since 2005. So their defense really held their own last week against Oakley, holding the Plainsmen to under 250 yards of total offense. But the offense is where they struggle, mainly with turnovers, right? And it's kind of the same story we talked about it with TMP. And those turnovers, and especially the fourth quarter last week, really sealed the fate for Norton last week. So what do you feel, Tate, is the key tonight for Norton to get that offense going?
Well, you got to look at this Norton team. They had an 8-2 season last year, had a heck of a year. Changing a head coach, maybe changes up some schemes and everything on the offensive front. You're looking at a team that lost Eli Jones and Tice Melvin last year. 2 huge parts of that Norton offense, where they had a little less than 1,500 receiving yards throughout the year. That passing game's got to get going, I feel like, you can't come off of a great season like 8-2 last year and expect the same results, because that's a strong offense from last season. And I'm sure these players are still kind of trying to adapt to that new coach, that new play set. Yep. So I'm sure it's a big deal for Norton to get their season rolling with a big win today, and maybe even move on with that momentum throughout the year.
Absolutely. In fact, Norton graduated 15 seniors. That's huge for a town this size, a school this size. 15 seniors. So it's the Blue Jays hosting the Monarchs tonight. They're both hungry for their first win of the season. When we come back, we'll have interviews with TMP coach Grant Stevenson and also with Norton coach Jeremy Hawks. Stay tuned. Kickoff in this MCL clash is coming soon. This is Game Time pregame show on Nex-Tech Local 1. Through here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Norton, Kansas tonight at the Travis Field at Dick Boyd Stadium, as we have a Mid-Continent League clash between the TMP Marion Monarchs and the Norton Blue Jays. TMP won the toss. They deferred to Norton, and we are set for kickoff. Week 2, both teams coming in at 0-1. High, deep kickoff. Hudson Wicker gets it at the 10, crosses the 15, and will make it out to about the 19-yard line before he is brought down by a herd of Monarchs. So your starting lineup tonight for Norton. Their quarterback is Ashton Katz. Tyler Backman is the running back, with Jared Fonensteel is the other running back. Dominic Valling is going to be wide receiver. Jayton Weigel Alex Evelay and Galvin Callahan. You got Rick Wyatt, Caden Pounce, and Cope Railsback on the line tonight for the Norton Blue Jays. 1st and 10 at the 19. This is a handoff, and it's a fumble, and it is recovered by TMP. That handoff, tell you what, we talked about that in the pregame show, Tate, and keeping the hands on the ball and securing that ball, and the very first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, first play of the ball game, Norton just fumbles when it comes down to handing, or I guess it'd be handing off to the running back, and that's a quick turnaround of events. You got Norton who gets the ball in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden TMP's basically starting with the possession at the start of the game here inside the 20. So we'll see what TMP can start on offense here.
TMP running the flex bone offense. Got Nels in the backfield. Their quarterback is Lyles. Lyles is a late handoff, and this goes to Gillespie. And Gillespie within 18.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Norton for the
one play by each team. One's a fumble for Norton, the other one's a touchdown for TMP. That's a way to start if you're the Monarchs. Get on the board quick, 6-0 lead, and you're in business.
Their kicker is also their quarterback. That's Carson Lyles, 5'11", 175-pound senior for the Monarchs. Out there to hold for him is Caden Dinkle, also a senior, wide receiver. We've had 16 seconds run off the clock, and we already have a score. Extra point is up, and it is good by Carson Lyles, 7-0. 16 seconds into the game, we've had 2 possessions. We will be right back. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Been a wild start to the 2025 high school football season.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there. Because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
One play, 18-yard touchdown run by running back Jackson Gillespie for the Monarchs. Like I said before we went to the break, Tate, we've had 2 possessions, we've had a fumble, and we've had a touchdown in just 2 plays. So, deja vu, as here we go again. Carson Lyles is going to set the kickoff, and he is going to kick it deep, and it is going to be fielded at the 3-yard line, crossing the 20, and we'll make it out to about the 21. That was Dominic Valling, the 6'1 senior. And so during the break, Tate, Coach Hawks was out there. This is his 2nd game as a head coach, longtime assistant with this Blue Jay program. He was out there. He had the whole team out there on the field during the break. What do you think he was telling his Blue Jays?
Well, you start off with the ball in the game, and especially, TMP defers. They're going to get the ball the second half, but that's a tough first play to have of the ball game. That kind of sets the momentum in the forward of the Monarchs. So they need to get something going on offense, and I'm sure he said something similar to that.
Well, there's a handoff. Went to Backman. Backman, we'll talk a little bit more about him. He was brought down by Big Braden Gilmore, the 5'11", 230-pound senior for the Monarchs, and they're going to give him a loss of 2 on the play. And so that'll bring up 2nd down and 12 just outside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, you can kind of see there's a little bit of a size difference up front between Norton. TMP has the biggest boys. We'll see what happens.
Here's a pitch out to Backman, and Backman is dragged from behind. I think he got back to the original line of scrimmage, but that was Dinkle with the tackle on that and no gain.
That's exactly what I was just saying, too. You know, that defensive front for TMP just ate up that offensive line there. They're not getting much going on the ground here early. Let's see if they air it out on 3rd down and long.
So Backman is a 6 foot, 170-pound senior. He was an all-MCL player last year. He had 550 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns on 96 carries. He was also a receiver. This year as a senior, he is the quarterback. He is in shotgun formation. Run for his life there. He's at the 25, tries to get it out to 30, brings that to 31, but he is going to be shy of about, though they're going to mark him at the 30, he's going to be about 3 yards shy. He picks up 9 on that play, so it's 4th down now and 3.
Yeah, it was a nice little scramble. You know, I figured they'd air it out 3rd down and long. The running game definitely sure wasn't happening here. So this 4th down and 3 looks like Norton's going to line up to have our first punt of the ball game. We give it back to the Monarchs. We saw it a lot last week, though. You know, the hard count between Phillipsburg and Plainville. Yep. That's something that might come into effect here in this 4th down and 4.
Could very well. As Katz is also the punter, and they're going to punt this one away. He gets a nice spiral punt and picked up at the 33-yard line and breaks it out to about the 46-yard line. Nice little return there by Jacob Seib.
Yep, TMP is going to be starting off decent field position here, just right behind the 50 around the 47-yard line. And, you know, TMP had one play on the last from the 18-yard line, put it in. And I tell you what, TMP might have to, they might start getting on a roll here. But this is, I would consider this kind of their first offensive play, you know, now that you're deep in territory. You know, you have a chance to actually do something here, show off what you can do.
So Lyles is the quarterback. Again, they run that flex bone offense, and this is going to be, there's a flag on the play, handoff to the left side. He breaks a few tackles. He is across the 40. He's at the 35. It's a foot race, cuts back across the field, and finally brought down at the 15-yard line. That was Jackson Gillespie, the 5'9" junior, but is this going to come back?
Yeah, the flag happened right as soon as the play started, so I don't know if this is it's not a holding because it happened so quick.
Well, and the flag's in the back. Well, yeah, it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's coming back. False start, maybe.
Illegal motion is the call on
Somebody
that.
was moving.
Yep.
Just part of that discipline on offense. You know, you got to know where you're at. And
Isaac Puritan was the one that went into motion to the left, and I don't know if he was the one flagged for that, but that's going to set TMP back a little deeper in their own territory. Ball is out at the 43-yard line, the loss of 5.
Yeah, if I'm TMP, I'm not too worried. I mean, you did that's your second offensive play, and you have 2 pretty big runs here, so TMP probably going to put it on the ground again here on 1st and 15 with a fresh set of 4.
Lyles with Gillespie in the backfield. This one goes to Gillespie around the right side, and he is tackled by a flock of Blue Jays, but he does manage to get out to the 44-yard line. Picks up about a yard on that play. Now bring up 2nd down and 14 for TMP.
That's a stop that Norton needed, just because of the fact that, you know, they can get a stop when they need it, and still going to bring up a 2nd down and long. It's not going to be easy pickings here for TMP now, so we'll see. Maybe they're going to try to air it out here pretty soon, but you know, Norton's defense needed that one stop to start getting in the motion of things, and I think from here on out it's going to be a good battle.
Yep. So Carson Lyles, the quarterback's going to be, and there is another penalty. And Coach Grant Stevenson on the sideline is kind of beside himself. I guess there wasn't a flag. It looked like the back judge threw a flag, but there is a timeout. What we here at Nex-Tech Local 1 to remind you is that the Kansas State High School Activities Association conducts official rules meetings, trainings, clinics, and workshops throughout the state with a view toward providing a sound educational experience for all athletes. For more information on becoming an official in any sport, contact the Acacia offices at 785-273-5329. This is a public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and Nex-Tech Game Time.
And just to add something quick on that, officials are needed all around the state. So if you have any expertise or anything about officiating any sport, they're sure needed. We saw a game last week get postponed to the night before because of a loss of officials. So
Correct.
Just putting that out there. It's a tough job, and, it's not for everybody. But, if you know a sport, it's good to do, that's for sure.
So TMP comes out of their timeout. That's their first timeout of the half.
And a quick timeout here.
It
was only 4 minutes into the ball game.
And there's a snap back to Lyles. Lyles dumps it off to the left across the 50, and there's a fumble, but he goes out of bounds. It is a completion as that went to Dinkle. And Dinkle brings across the 50 out to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, now the Monarchs have a bearable 3rd down and 5 here. Now they're past midfield. I'd expect them probably put it on the ground and try to get one of those big run plays that you saw the first 2 plays of the game from offense.
So we got just under 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. 7-0. Monarchs with the lead. And there is looks like it was thrown.
Yeah, it was a forward pass.
Forward pass,
yep.
And that was incomplete. Tended out there for Puritan.
That is one thing that coaches coach, if it's even remotely close to being a backwards pass, go jump on that football.
Absolutely.
You got to play until that whistle blows, but this one just got blown off. It was definitely a forward pass, and now you got the Monarchs set up without 4th down. 4th down and 5 inside your 50. I'm assuming TMP will probably go for it here.
So they bring Dinkle in. Split right is Seib. And split left.
Oh, he's dropping back.
And it is a punt. It rolls, and is it going to die right before the goal line? Holy smokes. What a nice punt.
You couldn't have asked for a better outcome from there.
No, it is down at the 3-yard line, and Jacob Seib was down there to watch it roll. And so that is where Norton is going to set up shop here with their 3rd possession. They went 3 and out the last possession and fumbled on the first play, their very first possession.
Yep, TMP lined up like they were going to, snap it like a normal play on that 4th down and 5, but then he drops back real quick and punts it off, and now you got Norton stuck inside the 5, barely inside the 5. This is dangerous territory for the Blue Jays.
Weigel split left. And Valling split right. It's a drop back pass, and it is caught one-handed by the tight end. He gets out to about the 8-yard line. Nice little acrobatic catch there. And he just reeled that in with one hand, and he was able to secure that and picks up about 3 yards on the play. Kotz with his first pass of the game, and that was infield with the reception.
Yeah, Norton needed those couple yards, being inside the 5. Nice little slanting out. One receiver running a slant, the other one ran just a nice flat. And a couple yards, 2nd down and 7.
Katz under center, pitches it out. It goes out to Backman, and Backman gets it out close to the 10-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 9. They're going to give him a 1-yard carry in. And Backman, he is one of the studs of the team. He's a receiver. He is a running back last year, all MCL, but he's just having a little difficult time tonight so far, Tate, finding any grass ahead of him.
Yeah, Norton really hasn't had a lot of opportunities on offense as of yet to do anything with them, but if you're TMP, that's one player that you're going to want to stop all game long, and so far they've done well other than that last play. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down.
And there's that pick 6.
Yep. They were trying to go for Batman too, and just defensive back had it right all the way, Steve.
He did, and the Monarchs were not fooled, and that was a pick six by Jacob Seib. We've called his number quite a bit tonight, but Jacob Seib, we're going to give him the pick six. And all of a sudden, it's 13-0, and we are not even halfway through the first quarter yet.
Yeah, if you're Coach Hawks, you're going to have to give some talks.
You are definitely. The extra point by Lyles is good. It's 14-0, 6:03 left to go in the first quarter, and let's see how Norton responds to this. When we come back, you are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Nex-Tech Wireless has.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to our Norton Blue Jay Game Time Boosters, Moffett Drugstore, Graham Construction, and Roy's Sales and Service, Brian and Kate Fonnet Steel owners. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from CarQuest of Norton, Midwest Mill, and BEB and Associates. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Back 14-0, TMP with a pick six and a deep kickoff again for TMP, and that is Dominic Valling, who picks it up at about the 2-3 yard line, spins out of a tackle, and is finally brought out at about the 31 yard line. And nice little return there for Valling.
Yeah, he got some yards, and that's what Norton needs. Now they're the furthest out they've been on offense so far. They just need to get something going on offense. You know, they already have 2 turnovers, and we're just barely halfway through this first quarter. They can't let TMP get ahead by too much because, you know, that brings some sorrows down from Norton. And as soon as they can get some momentum going, I feel like it'd be all right. But you just got to keep those turnovers away.
See a lot of hands on the hips already on the sideline for Norton. And they really need to get something going here. Got I formation. Cats with a pitch out. This is Beckman. Beckman breaks a tackle and finally is knocked out of bounds at about the 40 yard line. Nice little pickup of 12 yards for Backman. By far the best play of the night so far for Norton.
Yep, Norton's trying to get something going, and they need him especially to start off hot, and that one play will do well as that gets them just behind the 40, around the 37. Now Norton's offense can start rolling. But like I said a little bit ago, you got to keep those turnovers away.
And that was the bugaboo last week for both teams, was the turnover issues. And 2 tonight so far for Norton. Let's see what they can do with this possession. Ball to the 37. Here's a pitch out. It's Backman. He's got a lead blocker. He stiff arms one tackler, and he's brought out at about the 44 yard line. Nice little pickup of 5 yards there for Backman. That was his 5th carry. He's up to 16 yards rushing.
Yep. Like I said, get him going, get your offense rolling, and try to get a score back here on offense. It's much needed for the Blue Jays at this point. You know, TMP is able to score on 2 consecutive turnovers.
You know, there are, we talked about in the pregame, 15 seniors graduated from last year's 8-2 team for Norton, and now they also have a new head coach, and sacked. And that is Caden Dinkle, sacked at the 35 yard line. And I tell you what, Cats did not see Dinkle coming.
No, he was a screaming eagle there from that left end. I mean, it was a completely blind backside, and Norton's quarterback just unable to get it gone before he can reach him. And that Caden Dinkle, man, he's got some speed behind him, that's for sure.
Yes, he does. And in fact, he's already tonight, he's had a tackle, a sack, and a fumble recovery.
Wow. He's starting the night off well.
So here we go with 3rd down and 12 now. For Norton, a bad snap. Katz picks it up, and he is looking deep, and he's got a receiver wide open, and there's
no flag.
There is no flag. I'm not sure how that one was missed. The pass was intended for Valling, and it looked like Valling got pulled right before the ball got there.
Yeah, it looked like there was definitely some contact there, but ultimately there was no call, and there's nothing really you can do about it at that point, so it's going to be a 4th down and long here for Norton. It was a heck of a try there by Norton's quarterback just to at least get the ball in his hands and at least get something up there for a chance. And now it looks like Norton's going to punt the ball away here on 4th down.
Yep, here's Katz. He is the punter. High end over end kick. It's not very deep. It lands right at the 45. And it gets a little friendly Norton bounce, and it's down at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, TMP they really haven't had bad field positioning yet. I mean, they haven't even been inside their 40-yard line. As I say, they're right on their 40. And, that calls for a lot of success on offense when you don't have to take the ball 90 yards up the field like Norton has so far tonight.
So Norton lost last week for the first time in 20 years to Oakley. Norton and TMP lost last Thursday night in Russell. So both teams looking to pick up their first win. Here's a handoff around the left side. This is Gillespie, breaks a couple of tackles, and finally is brought down at about the 46-yard line after a gain of 6.
Yeah, you're mentioning TMP's loss to Russell. It seems like Russell's going to have a pretty good squad this year. They shut out, I'm blanking on who it was. Oakley. They shut up Oakley 33-0 last night. So, that Russell Bronco team, it's pretty good, and TMP seemed to play them pretty tight. So that Russell Bronco team might be one of the teams to beat in the Mid-Continent League this year, but I'm sure these two teams want a chance as well. We saw a really good Mid-Continent League battle last week against Phillipsburg and Plainville. Looking for one tonight, too.
And you were talking about how defense wins you ball games. This is a quarterback keeper, and this is Lyles brought out at about the 50-yard line. He'll be close to a first down. Just needed 4. And they are marking it right on the 50-yard line. Just short of it. We're going to call a 3rd down and about a foot. He just has to go on the other side of the stripe and maybe a couple more inches, and he's got the first down.
Now, you were talking about defenses and, winning championships, something I mentioned in the pregame, but one thing you can't forget is turnovers also kill championships. So Norton already 2 of them tonight. But TMP, this 3rd and short, they don't need much to get there.
In the backfield is Grant Nels, and he gets the call, and he is stuffed in the backfield, and he is going nowhere. That was Nels' first carry of the ball game, and he's actually going to lose a yard on that play. 4th and 1. TMP, you've been successful. Doesn't look like Coach Stevenson wants to punt this one.
Yeah, it looks like he's calling a play from the sideline, which I probably would too. I mean, Norton hasn't had a lot of success on offense, and even if you get him field position at the 50, I think they trust TMP's defense to get him a stop.
So 4th and 1. Lyles, shotgun. And he's just going to keep it himself, and he's going to pick up that first down. He'll just take it himself. He picks up a good 3 yards on that play. Lyles with his second carry of the ball game.
Yep, nice easy first down there from the Monarchs. Now they're into Norton territory. Right there at the 47-yard line now.
So 2:43 left to go in the first quarter. It's 14-0. TMP with the early lead. And TMP with the ball. 2 turnovers so far tonight for Norton. Back to pass deep, and he finds Spearton all by himself. I'm sorry, that was Jacob Zeib, clear down to the 21-yard line, but there is a flag on the field right inside the 50-yard line.
Yeah, that's right behind where the offensive line would be. It looks like it was a holding call.
And that is a holding call. That is going to negate a 27-yard pass and reception. So that'll march the Monarchs back 10 yards. And for the Monarchs, that's their second penalty of the ball game.
Yeah, and those are two penalties that have come on big plays for TMP so far. And, you know, those two plays definitely would have set up good chances for touchdowns on the next couple plays. But now you got a first down and 20 coming up. And those flags, only two of them so far for TMP, but they've hurt.
Both teams with two penalties in this ball game. Lyles and swings it out to the left. This is Dinkle. Dinkle is trying to break a tackle, but nice job out there.
Nice little floater.
Yep. Yeah, I was trying to find out, trying to see the number who tackled him, but I believe that was, it may have been Fonensteel that got that, but it pick up a 3 for Dinkle, and that'll bring up, with just under 2 minutes left to go here in this opening quarter, brings up 2nd and 17 for the Monarchs.
I mean, I'm thinking that TMP is going to pass it here. They've had a lot of success passing the ball. 1 on the clock. They just got it off. Bang.
Right up the middle, and nobody is going to catch Isaac Barrington. And that is going to be a 54-yard touchdown.
Wow. I'm not going to say I called it, but that was a pass right up the middle. I mean, I'm not going to say I called it, but I was expecting on that second down and long. The pass game's been working well for TMP so far. Why not air it out on second down and long, see what you can do? And sure enough, another 6 points makes it 20-0.
So the one who just threw the ball for the touchdown, Carson Lyles, is the place kicker for the Monarchs. Dinkle to hold. Here comes the snap. Ball's down. Kick is on its way. And for the third time in a row, it is good. And with $1:27 left to go here in the opening quarter, it's 21-0. The TMP Marion Monarchs with the lead. We will be right back after this on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you'll be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to these Norton Game Time boosters, Bailey Ag Solutions Inc., and New Age Industrial Corporation. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from New Look Body Shop and Gall Motors Inc., along with Professional Fire Equipment, longtime full season booster of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Kickoff. TMP with the kickoff, and Nice little return there by Valling, and there a late flag coming in.
Two of them.
There's 2 flags, yep. As Valling was finally brought down at the 33, 34 and a half, 34-yard line, but we're going to call it the 33.
Yeah, I'd like to say that there was just 1 flag on the play. There was 2 thrown from both sides of the field. So, see, it's going to be a face mask.
Face mask on TMP, so that's going to put Norton in pretty good shape. And with a minute 18 left to go in the first quarter, Tate, Norton is almost at the 50-yard line, and now's the time to do something if they're going to do something.
Yeah, they got their best field positioning they've had this first half. Minute 18 left in this first quarter. Let's see if Norton can start getting something going now, down 3.
Third penalty tonight for the Monarchs, and here is a handoff to the left side, and that's Weigel, and nothing going for Weigel on that.
Yeah, TMP's defense just swarmed him as soon as he got over here to the left hash, and just not a lot to do if you're Norton on offense. You know, TMP's just consistently stopping him up front, and I need to see some passing here from the Blue Jays. We'll see.
Yeah, open this up a little bit here. That was the first carry of the night for Weigel. Fake handoff as this is Katz, breaks a few tackles. He's got 1 to beat. He is at the 15 and knocked out of bounds finally at the 12-yard line. Nice little fake handoff there for Ashton Katz.
Yeah, Katz completely sold that handoff. And you got to give it, there was a it was Nels on the push there late. If he didn't hustle all the way down there, that's a Norton touchdown. So Norton looking like they have something going on offense. See if they can keep it going.
Call that a 40-yard carry for Katz. That's his third carry. He's up to 48 yards. Handoff up the middle. Not much going there for number 35, Owen Clark. He's a freshman. So it just looks like Coach Hawks is just rotating people in, and at this point, Tate, is he just looking for something that just it's going to work, because they've struggled as we end the first quarter here offensively.
Yeah, it looks like the play action, the option play is what's going to be working for Norton. I mean, we saw that 1 long run. That's kind of all the Blue Jays needed. They know what's going to kind of work against this TMP defense. Now, can they keep it going inside the red zone? We'll see.
So we have completed 1 quarter of play, 21-0. The TMP Monarchs over the Norton Blue Jays here in Norton. We'll take a timeout. We'll bring you the second quarter after this. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents. Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
We are back at Travis Field at Dick Boyd Stadium in Norton. Kickoff, the temperature was about 90 degrees, about 20-mile-per-hour wind, and sun's coming down. It's a polar opposite of last week. We were wearing hoodies last week on top of the press box in Phillipsburg.
Yeah, we were talking about like it was middle of October, but last week, and now we're like, is this July back in Kansas? But no, the sun's gone behind us now. It's a beautiful night. wind's gone down. Now we can start playing some football.
So it's second down and 8. There's a handoff up the middle and nothing going again, as it was actually a quarterback keeper by Katz.
Yeah, that was the same exact play that they ran on the other end to get that long run by Katz. That time, TMP just had it all thought up and stopped.
Yep, they were ready for that play. So Norton is now facing a third and it's called a long 10. They have to, they can still get a first down without crossing the goal line. The Cats in the backfield shotgun formation. Owen Clark back there to protect, swings it out, and just not a very good pass over to the left side. It was intended for Backman.
Yeah, no chance there for Backman to catch that one. It was too low. Now you got a fourth down. Do you send out field goal unit? Do you go ahead and go for it? I mean, not sure what you do if you're Norton here.
I'm almost saying you probably try to go for it here, but it's going to depend here because Katz has been the highlight of this game so far. Here's a pass into the corner, end zone, intercepted.
Oh.
And it is a chance to go all the way back. TMP back across the 40. And there is Katz going to try to catch up with him. And he dives. And this is going to be a pick 6, the second one of the night. And we're going to call that one like a 101-yard pick 6.
Yeah.
And Grant Nels just simply outran the entire Norton Blue Jay team. And right now, the fans here, in Norton, last year they were 8-2. It is quiet as you can hear a pin drop out there.
Yeah, if you're Norton's offense on that other side of the field, you have to, if you're going to go for it, you got to try to get the first down. You might as well air it out. The run game really isn't working that close. And, unfortunately, that's going to be 2 picks now from Katz and 2 pick 6s from TMP now. And that one, nearly 100 yards, I think. That was dodging and weaving all of his way home. So
Dinkle with the extra point. Excuse me, that's Lyles with the extra point.
4 for 4 from extra points.
Yes, sir, he is. And all of a sudden, we just started the second quarter. It's already 28-0. So as Coach Hawks is out there talking to his team, we're going to take a break. And we'll be back for the kickoff. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hens and his team have over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
It's been all TMP in this ball game so far here in Norton, and the crowd is simply stunned. And the sideline for the Blue Jays, most of the players with hands on their hips, and it's been turnovers. That's what that was the bugaboo last week.
Yep.
And here we go again, and this kick goes in out of the back of the end zone by Carson Lyles. And so Norton, you're down 28-0. We're just starting the second quarter. Tate, you just got to keep punching, right?
Yeah, if you're Coach Hawks, you got to tell your team, keep your heads up for right now, run your plays, execute. and at least try to get some points on the board because there's still a lot of ball game to play left. I mean, you still have 24 minutes of the second half plus this 10:55. A lot can happen, and it just depends on if Norton can start getting things going on offense. They've had one big play so far, and that was that option run there from the quarterback, and
where he picked up the 40 yards.
Yeah, but ultimately that one ended with nothing. So need Norton to get something going on offense, and they look to try to do it here on the east side of the field.
So unofficially, and I do mean that, 62 yards of total offense so far for Norton, but they've had a fumble and 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown. Here is a quarterback keeper and picks up a nice chunk of yards. And I'll tell you one player that hasn't given up. That's Ashton Katz, the quarterback, as he rumbles and stumbles and carries a few Monarchs with him for, they're going to call it 15-yard run.
Yeah, they've ran that play about 3 times in a row now. You know, it has a good success rate after that long one last drive, but that time a nice fresh first down. I think Coach Hawks might be figuring something out here. Now let's see if they can just keep it rolling.
Here in a few, we will catch you up with other games going on in the area. That's Katz. Shotgun formation, and he's going to take it himself. He's got a lead blocker, and he picks up another first down. So Katz picks up 11 on that one, and Katz is already up to 75 yards rushing.
Yeah, you want to keep feeding him. I mean, it's working. Back-to-back first downs. Just keep giving him the ball, but, eventually they're going to trick him and put Batchman in there and, surprise TMP's defense. If you're TMP, or you just can't get caught lacking, because at any time Norton can air the ball out. Saw it a lot last year. This year might be a little bit of a different story, but if you're TMP, just got to stay on your toes. Try to hold them like you've been doing.
So maybe this is going to light a little spark now for the Blue Jays, and Norton is going to call a timeout. Imagine you debating or marching before hundreds of people. Kansas high school students have been debating and performing spectacular marching halftime shows since school started. You are invited to support the fall activity programs of your school. Attend a game, volunteer to judge or to debate, enjoy a music program. A public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and Nex-Tech Game Time.
I got a couple scores we could try to catch up on here. Great Bend ahead of Olathe South. That was a drive. I think that was 4.5 hours from Olathe heading to Great Bend.
Oof.
So Great Bend's up 14-0 there.
Great Bend's got a good team this year.
Yep, they do. That's for sure. Keeping going down, Smith Center ahead of Phillipsburg after one quarter, 8-0. Local scores, Logan Palco over, that was 6 days ago. Just kept scrolling. That's all the local ones we have so far. Don't know if you have any more, Steve.
I don't, but we will keep you up to date. A lot of big games going on in the area, and like Tate said, we will keep you up to date on when we get those scores in. All right, so it's first down and 10. Ball at the 47-yard line for Norton. Kind of the same formation they had before they called the timeout. This is a different runner and nothing going for Norton. He gets back. Well, actually, it looks like, according to the far side judge, he lost. Yep, he lost a yard. That was Jarrett Faunensteel. That's the first time we've called his number tonight.
Yeah, if Norton doesn't get TMP's defensive line moving left or right, faking off to one of the running backs, if they try to move it up the middle, there's nothing there.
Right.
They have to get that defensive line moving left and right, because that's where they've gotten their success was, keeping the ball in the quarterback's hands up the gut. But that's off of play actions.
Katz gets the snap, looking to throw some downfield, and he's got a wide receiver. Caught.
It is.
10-5, touchdown. There is the play that Norton has been looking for. That was a beautiful connection to Tyler Backman.
Like I said earlier, Steve, you got to stay on your toes because as soon as you have one play, that's what's going to do it. Norton on the board.
54-yard touchdown pass. And that lit the home crowd up a little bit.
Yep, TMP's just defensive backs just got caught lacking. That's all it was. What an excellent throw there as well.
It was. And Backman blew by his defender. And so it looks like Katz is also the kicker, quarterback and kicker, just like Carson Lyles is for TMP. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is on its way, and it is partially blocked. No good.
Yeah. That was number 20 for TMP that blocked that. He just screamed around the corner. Grant Nels.
Grant Nels again.
Wow.
But it is a touchdown. It gets Norton on the board. 8:48 left to go here in the second quarter. 28-6. TMP with the lead. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. You're watching Nex-Tech Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hens and his team have over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there. Because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
We are back in Norton. Norton with the touchdown. Extra point was blocked, but it gets Norton on the board. Game Time major sponsors. This Nex-Tech Game Time tonight is brought to you by the Hayes Rec, Nex-Tech Wireless, Mapes and Miller, Redeem Designs, High Plains Podiatry, Phillips County Hospital, and Nex-Tech. And here is the first kickoff for Norton. It's picked up by Puritan over on the right hand side. Excuse me. A nice little return by Jacob Seib. Keeps Puritan's 11 and Seib is 7. So I'll get that eventually, Tate.
Yep, nice little run there. Just puts TMP. They have yet to be behind their own 40. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, they haven't.
Correct.
The longest they've had to march the ball down the field is 60 yards. And Norton, on the other hand, they've been stuck inside the 5 a couple times tonight. So TMP looking to extend the lead now.
Carson Lyles, 70 yards passing. And he's also got a touchdown. It was a big 62-yard. No, it's a 54.
Yep.
54-yard touchdown pass earlier to Puritan. Split left is Nels. It's a handoff right out the right side, and Gillespie is dragging some players with him and is finally brought out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Excellent lead block there from Diego Fernandez, that offensive lineman there. He was right in front of him all the way to that right edge, and that kind of opened up the barrier for him to get those yards. TMP's offense is looking really good here.
Yep, they are clicking on all cylinders right now. 32-yard pickup. And for Gillespie, I have him as only 2 carries, but he has a touchdown and that big one he just got, and now he is just carrying the Norton Blue Jays along with him. They're hanging on for the ride, and for Gillespie, that's going to be a pickup of 6 yards.
Just keep those feet moving, get those extra yards. That's all you need.
Just keep pumping those legs.
Coach loves to see the effort out of those players. 2nd down and 4 now coming up for the Monarchs.
Dinkle comes in with the play, so we're just under 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter. We've seen almost everything. We've seen a sack, a fumble, 2 interceptions.
Lots of long plays.
Lots of long plays tonight. Lyles is going to hang on to this one himself, and he is brought down short of the short of the first down. In there on the tackle for TMP was Easton Worth, 6'1", 205-pound senior. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. And I'm looking at I think that's more 3rd and 2. The ball's at the 21-yard line. Either way, that was about a 3-yard pickup on that quarterback keeper.
TMP spreading things out. Reverse.
Yep, and that is going nowhere as the reverse handoff went to Derek Becker. And not much. In fact, Becker's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, they didn't fool Norton at all with that reverse. I think Norton kind of thought a pass was coming, but the reverse didn't fool that Norton defensive line.
So here's the situation. Lyles is their kickoff specialist. He's their extra point. He's their quarterback. So they are not going to go for a field goal here. I mean, we would have been looking at about a 37-yard field goal. Lyles back to pass. He finds his open man up the middle, and that's going to be enough for a first down to the 14-yard line. That'll be a 15-yard pickup. And that was Jackson Gillespie with the catch.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball right to his hands. He even had a defender right behind him to try to break it up, but he held on to it, got the fresh set of downs for TMP. Now they're inside the 15 at the 14 for a first down and 10. That first down is going to be at the 4-yard line.
So if you're playing defense and TMP's running the flex bone, as Gillespie gets the call again and he barrels down to just outside the 10-yard line, and we're going to give him a pickup of 3. But how do you prepare for an offensive formation like a flex bone?
I mean, yeah, the flex bone's like classic football almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big run heavy offense, and we kind of saw that last week with a run heavy offense. If your defense gets tired trying to tackle people all the time as they're running the ball, that makes things tough. But now especially TMP's just trying to inch closer to the end zone, try to put this a little bit out of reach. Getting close to the half. TMP also gets a ball at half.
They sure do. Fake quarterback keeper and nothing going there.
I think that was a broken play. It looked like quarterback was going to hand it off to him on the left side, but he turned to the right side, and there was nothing there, so he had to take a hold of it, and that's a big loss of yards. Turned down to 10.
Big Rick Wyatt in there for the sack, and that was a loss of about 4 on the play. And so TMP is faced with 3rd and long. As you said, Tate, they can get to the 4-yard line. They can get a first down without having to punch it in. Pass as Lyles rolls to the right, and he finds his receiver, and it is a touchdown. Jacob Side.
Wow. What a throw. What a catch. I mean, that was all around great play call there. Now the coach of TMP, now 34-6. TMP with a lead now.
That was a 14-yard touchdown pass from Lyles to Side. That'll make Lyles' 2nd touchdown of the game. And he's not done yet. He is ready for that extra point. And it is bobbled by Dinkle, and Dinkle just throws it away. And there is a flag on the play, and we're going to get a face mask. In there on that tackle was number 7, Weigel.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see what happened. Yeah, I mean, I heard the coach over there. He said there was nobody in the area. It had to be intentional grounding. I think that's what the call is.
And that's what it's going to be. So that's going to help out Norton give them a little bit better field position. Maybe, but we will find out. It's 34-6. TMP with the lead. 4:15 left to go in the second quarter. We will be right back. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to our Norton Blue Jay Game Time Boosters, Moffett Drugstore, Graham Construction, and Roy's Sales and Service, Brian and Kate Fonnet Steel owners. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from CarQuest of Norton, Midwest Mill, and BEB and Associates. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
So TMP scoring another touchdown, 34-6 now, with just over half of the second quarter gone.
Yeah, and TMP is going to get to kick off at the 40 after that intentional grounding, so I'd expect it to go through the end zone.
Well, the way Lyles kicks, most likely high, deep, and yep, it did finally make it out of the back of the end zone, Tate. So with Norton, it's almost critical that they score here because, as you have alluded to a couple times so far tonight, TMP won the toss. They deferred to Norton, and TMP gets the ball to start the third quarter. So
Yep. It's definitely every drive from here on out is going to need a score and a stop on the other side of the ball as well, if you're Norton. So I'm expecting them to go to Batchman here early.
Next week, Norton is at Smith Center. TMP hosts Phillipsburg next week in Hayes. So back to pass. He's can't find anybody open. There's a flag, probably a holding, and he's brought down with a yard gain, but I think this is going to come back, Tate.
Yeah, it looked like there was a holding there right in front of the quarterback. He was trying to scramble around, and that typically happens, especially when you're trying to find a body. And
And we got a new quarterback. It's Hayden Rice, number 11. And so kind of looking on the sidelines if Ashton Katz is out there. I mean, Ashton has been very successful tonight with running the ball. So I'm wondering if they're switching things up and bringing Hayden Rice.
Yeah, I don't even see Katz on the sideline anywhere. Not sure.
Not sure if he's in the huddle or not. Backman's out there.
Oh, looks like is he at running back? Can't quite see the numbers.
A little difficult to see Backman in motion. This is a quarterback keeper. And a pickup of about, let's call it 3 yards on the play. And if we find out the update on Ashton Katz, we will certainly let you know. But right now the quarterback is Hayden Rice, number 11.
I think I see Katz there on the sideline talking to that middle coach. Yep, number 10.
Yep, sure is.
So they must just be switching things up.
Let's see if they can get something going with a little switcheroo here.
Oh, there's a flag.
There's another flag.
Yep.
And
might be delay a game.
Delay a game is the call. And, you had second down and about 2 yards to go. And the last thing you needed was another penalty. But
that's one thing that Norton has. They have a play clock on the end zone, both end zones.
all right, so Rice back to pass. finds an open receiver in Backman and skips it in just short. And now you're really starting to see frustration as they're going to bring in Katz back in.
Yeah, it looked like there was a chance for him. He was wide open.
Yep.
The pass was just underthrown, a little too low. So, yeah, Katz is going to come back in at the quarterback.
Oh, no, Katz was dinged up. But Rice is back on the sidelines, and Katz. Oh, and there's okay. So we got a tackle. That was Nels in there with the sack, and Nels is going to be credited for that sack, but he brought him down by the back of his shoulder pads, and that's more than likely going to give Norton the first down.
Yeah, Katz looks to be a little shooken up after that. It took him a little bit to get up. Norton kind of catching a break there. Hopefully Katz is all right. As, the ball's going to be moved forward a little bit. Geez, you got to give credit to Nels, even though he made that tackle behind the shoulder pad. That was some speed coming right there out of the line.
Nobody blocked. He had a wide open hole and got the sack, but got him by the it was a horse collar tackle. And so it's a fresh set of downs now for Norton with 3 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Back in shotgun formation, we are back to Rice. Rice dropping back. There is Nels again. And there's an intentional grounding. And Nels is he is an animal out there. Grant Nels, 6'2", 175. He's a sophomore.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he has 2 more years after this one, and he's already showing a lot of promise. He's someone you might want to look out in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's the name you're going to.
Or even this year for that matter.
Right. So it is. So second down and 13, and I can't really blame Rice on that. But man, that's 2 plays in a row now that Nels just crossed that line of scrimmage unimpeded and had a free target right at the quarterback. So Rice is still in the quarterback. Backman in motion. Rice rolls to the right. He's going to keep this one, and he is knocked down at about the 36-yard line.
He's slow to get up, too. There was a player hit him right in the back.
Yeah, he got hit by, it looked like 2 TMP defensive players, but picked up minimal yardage on that. Picked up about 5 yards on that rush.
If Katz is hurt, Katz looks like he's going to go back out there for sure. But, man, that's 2 quarterbacks that are kind of feeling it tonight for Norton.
And we got a long way to go, folks. We got 2.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and Norton is just they haven't found their rhythm.
No,
yet,
not at all.
Other than that long touchdown pass, that's been about it. Trips right as Katz is back in. He's gonna another running play, and looked like a little misdirection there, but there was a little. There is a flag on the field. And
I think it's another holding call, I think. Sure enough.
Yeah. So holding on Norton, and telling you what, even Backman's kind of walking off the field a little gingerly. And TMP, you got to hand it to them. They've got some of those boys on that defense. Nels and Dinkle, there's some heavy hitters there, and with 2 minutes left to go here in the second quarter, I think 3rd and 20 now.
Yeah, this drive started at the 20, and it's already burned about, 3 or 4 minutes off the clock now. Norton just unable to get the ball moving forward at all. TMP's defense holding strong here in this first half.
3rd and 20, shotgun formation. And there's the pass. It is caught by Backman. He's at the 40, breaks a tackle. He's at the 45. Backman is still going and is finally brought down at the 47. And, you know, it was 3rd and 20. And he's going to be awfully close to that first down. He may be a little shy of that first down, but that's a 20-yard pickup.
Yep, go to your playmaker. It's all you can do. Good throw by Rice. Now you got a 3rd down and call it 1 yard here for Norton. Minute 46 on the clock. A score here would be huge if you're the Blue Jays. They're going to give them the first down.
They sure are. That's the second catch tonight for Backman. He's got 74 yards receiving. So Norton continues to show a little bit of signs of life as here's a handoff up the middle. Nice gain, about 9 yards. Owen Clark with the carry. They're going to give him 9 on that carry. So it brings up 2nd down and 1. The clock continues to roll. Both teams with 2 timeouts.
Yep, Norton with a 2nd down and 1. We're under a minute left in the half. They got to get some plays off quick. They haven't been gaining a lot of yards quickly, so the more plays you can run in this final minute.
Here's another handoff to Clark, and this time there's not much there. In fact, he's going to lose close to a yard on that, and the clock continues to run, and kind of makes you wonder if Coach Hawks is like, you know, we're banged up. He's got Rice over laying on the bench on the Norton sideline, getting looked at by the trainers. 15 seconds left, and this very well may be the last play of the. Oh, it's
trickery!
It's a little trickeration, and he overthrows his intended receiver, Dominic Valling, and
he was open. That's just a player that doesn't throw the ball very much. Overthrown his target. It was a great throw.
It certainly was.
Valling had all the space in the world over there. Completely fooled TMP's defense. Now this will probably be the last play of the half, I'd imagine, Steve.
8 seconds. I'm not going to bet against that. Ball is at just outside the TMP 45-yard line. It's 4th down, 2 to go. And TMP gets the ball off, but I believe Coach Hawks calls a timeout. So with 8 seconds left to go in the first half, we are going to take a break. TMP with a commanding 28-point lead. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you will be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Final play of the first half. And Katz is dropped back deep, but he decided he's going to keep it himself. He's across the 30. He's across the 20 and is finally brought down at the 16-yard line. But that's the way the first half is going to end. So a little positive note there for Norton as Katz picks up 29 yards on that run, but that is going to be the end of the first half. Your score going into halftime, 34 TMP, 6 for Norton. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with scores and hopefully some stats and more as we get prepared for the second half here in Norton. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you'll be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to these Norton Game Time boosters, Bailey Ag Solutions Inc., and New Age Industrial Corporation. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from New Look Body Shop and Gall Motors Inc., along with Professional Fire Equipment, longtime full-season booster of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents, Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hens and his team have over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed, bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are.
A special thanks to our Norton Blue Jay Game Time boosters, Moffett Drugstore, Graham Construction, and Roy's Sales and Service, Brian and Kate Fawn Steel owners. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from CarQuest of Norton, Midwest Mill, and BEB and Associates. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you'll be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to these Norton Game Time Boosters, Bailey Ag Solutions Inc., and New Age Industrial Corporation. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from New Look Body Shop and Gall Motors Inc., along with Professional Fire Equipment, longtime full-season booster of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents, Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
Welcome back to Travis Field at Dick Boyd Stadium here in Norton. We are at halftime, and the Norton Community School Band entertaining the pretty good crowd here in Norton. They're a little concerned about their team, and in fact, I had mentioned earlier, Tate, that it looks like Norton's getting banged up a little bit, and their backup quarterback, Hayden Rice, the 6'3" sophomore, stepped in for Katz for a few plays, and it looks like he might just have his bell rung or something. He's sitting on there on the bench, and the rest of the team's in the locker room, and he's talking to to the Norton trainers there.
Yeah, I would assume that he probably got his bell rung. I mean, he got hit really hard from the backside, rushing to the near sideline, and like you said, Norton is pretty banged up. You saw Katz come out, and we were kind of confused why he was out. Don't know if he's banged up or what's going on there. And then you have also Batchman, who's kind of walking a little slow every once in a while. And so, yeah, like you said, Norton's a little beat up, and it's kind of showing on the scoreboard. And I think also Coach Hawks is trying to play it a little bit safe. We thought maybe he was going to try to run some quick plays at the end of the half. We didn't see that, so maybe just being a little conservative here.
So unofficially, here are your stats so far. Let's start with. So far, Katz is 6 of 8 for 86 yards, but he's thrown two interceptions, and both of them returned for touchdowns. So, statistically, if you take off and he's also thrown a touchdown pass too.
Yep.
So Katz is trying to hang in there. Rice, who is being still looked at on the sidelines here during halftime, he threw one pass and it fell incomplete. So we're hoping that Hayden Rice is going to be okay, but he is. He's going to need some help getting off the field, and I think it's that play where Dinkle tackled him in that horse collar tackle, if I'm not mistaken, Tate.
Well, there was a couple plays after that where he was rushing over here to the near side, and somebody tackled him from below, and then another guy come from the back end and hit him, and that was the play that he came off on. So I don't know if it's a hip or a knee, or we'll just hope he's all right and see
absolutely.
maybe if they test his luck here.
Beckman He has 5 carries for 16 yards, but he also has a fumble at the beginning of the game. Jared Fonensteel, 1 carry, -1 yard. Katz is leading on the ground. He's got 150 yards of total offense. He's got 6 carries for 64 yards. He's broke a few big ones. And Weigel, 1 carry for 1 yard. And Rice, 2 carries for 8 yards. Over on the TMP side, Carson Lyles has been lighting it up tonight. Unofficially 6 of 11 for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. But he also has 2 carries for 4 yards. But you know that the passing game is clicking right now for practically everything on the offensive side for the Monarchs is ticking. Grant Nails is 1 carry for a -1 yard. Lyles, like I said, 2 carries for 4 yards. Gillespie's had a good night. 4 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. And again, these are all unofficial, but and Becker, 1 carry for -1 yard. Dinkles caught a pass, 1 carry, 1 catch for 8 yards. Seib has been big tonight. He's caught a few passes, and he's also caught a touchdown. Perriton's caught a 54-yard touchdown. And then Gillespie also has a catch for 15 yards. So TMP has rung up 34 points here. They only scored 6 in the second quarter, but they scored 28 in the opening quarter, and 2 of their touchdowns were from pick sixes. We had a 101-yard touchdown return pick six by Grant Nels back in the first quarter. And Seib also got an interception, a pick six, an 18-yard touchdown, the second play of the game.
Yep.
So it's been things are clicking for the Monarchs.
Yeah, the Monarchs are just playing really good football right now. Like you said, they were up 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. But you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. Norton's only held TMP to 6 points in the second quarter, and they also got on the board. So you know, both teams are trying to get their first win of the season. TMP looking at better odds at the moment, but you know, Norton's coming out of the locker room now. You just kind of wonder what was said in the locker room, maybe trying to motivate the boys a little bit and see what they can do. TMP on the other end, you know, they're just going to keep playing the football they have been and try to keep this a long distance away. We'll see what happens, Steve. You know, there's a lot of football left to play. 24 minutes of football sure is a long time.
It sure is. Let's catch you up with some halftime scores in the area. Here's a... Who would have thought Trigo is leading Hoxie at the half, 40-6.
I think Hoxie. I think they lost a lot of kids last year, unfortunately, and you know, like kind of something you said earlier. It's not a rebuild; it's a reload.
It absolutely, absolutely. Other games in the area. Let's see here. Great Bend over Olathe South at the half, 21-0. Goodland over Southwest Heights, 42-0 at the half. Also, halftime scores, Smith Center over Phillipsburg, 16-8. And Scott City over Ray, Colorado, the Fighting Eagles, 21-0. The Beavers over the Eagles. They are also at the half. Thunder Ridge over Rock Hills, 38-0. And the last that I saw, Hayes High is having their very first home game that is not at Lewis Field on Fort Hays State campus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
because
with
of the
their
new stadium.
School,
That's
they got
right.
a new school. They got a new stadium. And last we heard about 15 minutes ago, Hayes High was leading that game 7-6 at the half.
Wow, that'd be good for Hayes High to get a first win on their new stadium, wouldn't it, Steve?
Yep, it sure would. It sure would. So we're about a minute away from the second half kickoff. And we do want to thank our Game Time sponsors tonight. Without these great companies, Nex-Tech Game Time, we wouldn't be here. So the Nex-Tech Game Time is brought to you by the Hayes Rec, Nex-Tech Wireless, Mapes & Miller, Redeem Designs, High Plains Podiatry, Phillips County Hospital, and Nex-Tech. You can ask any sports enthusiast what fall means in Kansas, and they're going to tell you football, cross country, volleyball, soccer, and a whole lot more. The best in entertainment, the best in sportsmanship and community involvement will unfold during these next few months. So these activities, folks, give fans the opportunity to show how much pride they have in their youth, and gives them an opportunity to talk about their accomplishments. So support your school's student body, support the faculty, and support the administration. This is a public message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and Nex-Tech Game Time. So our next broadcast, we get a week off next week.
We do.
We do. So, Tate, are you going to be with me in Trigo?
Yep, I will. I sure will be.
Okay.
That's Trigo and Leota, correct?
Yeah, and Wichita County.
Yep.
Wichita County and Trigo. We're going to be in Waukene 2 weeks from tonight, September 26th. So that will be our first 8-man game of the season, and the first time calling a 8-man game for me. And
I've been there, done that several times, so it's a lot of fun to watch.
Okay,
it's good.
All right, you're going to have to keep me honest here.
And for the way Waukene's been playing, that might turn out to be a pretty good game.
That may very well turn out to be a great game. So coming into tonight with TMP and Norton in their perspective classifications. So in 2A, it's southeast of Saline. This is all according to K-Prep, and southeast of Saline is ranked number 1 in the state. Beloit is ranked 4, but we go to 1A, and well, I'm kind of looking on the list here. Plainville is still on that list. I don't see. Phillipsburg would have been on the 2A list.
Yep.
So I tell you what, even though TMP lost last week in Russell to a great Russell team, because they are, they put it to Oakley last night.
Shut them out.
And so Russell is definitely somebody to contend with. And by the way, and this is going to be for Aubrey, our producer, too. They added on a couple more minutes on the clock. So the Zebras are out at midfield, all 5 of them talking. But Norton travels to Smith Center. Smith Center, I think they're kind of on a down right now. I think they're also on a reload mode, just like Norton, just like Plainville. And so that's where Norton plays next week, is at Smith Center. So it doesn't get a whole lot easier going forward for the Blue Jays. TMP will host Phillipsburg at Lewisfield Stadium at Fort Hays State University.
Yep, and I expect that Phillipsburg TMP game to be a good one. I mean, both teams, they're pretty sound teams. We've seen them both. Of course, we've only seen TMP through a half, but that should be a pretty good game. And then also Norton and Smith Center. I don't expect that game to be near as bad. I think that could be a pretty good game. Like you said, Smith Center trying to get back on their feet, but they're ahead of Phillipsburg right now. So, Smith Center might be just being Smith Center. That's Highway 36 football for you next week.
So TMP won the toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred, and they will receive the second half kickoff. And set to kick off for the Blue Jays is Railsback, and kicks it out to the 12-yard line. And this is Gillespie, I believe, number 32. Jackson Gillespie brings it out to the 30. So TMP will have first down and 10 at their own 30.
Yeah, I think TMP is going to get their offense working quick, just like they did in the start of the game. I'm expecting them to put it down quick, try to get some points on the board. Norton's just they gotta put some stops on the board and get some scores.
So Jackson Gillespie in the backfield, shotgun formation. Here's A handoff to Gillespie, breaks it out to the left. He crosses the 30, crosses the 35, out to the 40, and coming in late is a flag on the play. So right now it's looking at like an 11, actually make that a 10-yard pickup for Gillespie, but this one is going to come back, it looks like.
Yep, 10-yard pickup, but you go 10 backs. It's going to be a holding call, so it's a big, what's the word for it? It's a big break for Norton,
Absolutely.
Bringing them back another 10.
So that will negate that nice 10-yard carry there by Gillespie, and so instead of first down and 10 at the just outside the 30-yard line, it is now 1st and 20 just outside the 20-yard line. I believe that's the 4th penalty in the ball game for TMP, but again, it's all unofficial.
And believe it or not, this is the deepest TMP has been in their own territory this entire ball game.
Okay, ball carried out to the 25-yard line, gain of 5. That was a keeper by Lyles, picks up 5 on the play.
Yep, Norton defense just trying to hang in tough here. 2nd down and long now.
Only the 3rd carry tonight for Carson Lyles. He's picked up 9 yards. He's done more damage through the air than with his legs. Carson Lyles last year, 1,306 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Lyles back to pass, finds a wide open receiver and could not connect with Derek Becker on the left side, and Decker just came across the field and just was not able to secure that one.
Yeah, it was a thrown a little bit ahead of him. It was just barely outside of his arm reach, but ultimately 3rd down and long now. Norton looking to get a stop.
Yeah, TMP really haven't seen themselves in this kind of a situation tonight. 3rd and 15, and incomplete pass stops the clock, and Dinkle comes in with the play.
All Norton needs is 2 stops here, and they'll have a little bit of momentum.
So here's a handoff to Jackson Gillespie, breaks a few tackles. He is close to the 1st down. They're going to mark him. It's going to be close. No, actually, no, it's not. It's a pickup of 6. My apologies. I was looking at the wrong stick on this other side of the field, but that is a gain of 6 and brings up 4th and 15. And I think if you're Coach Grant Stevenson, I mean, you've got a comfortable 28-point lead.
Yeah,
you would probably want to punt this one.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to just punt it away. Norton's going to send Katz back to return and give the ball to Norton.
That's a good sign that Katz is back in there. Nice spiral kick, and Katz is going to say no thank you, and TMP will down it at the 32-yard line, their own 32-yard line. 9:59 left to go in the 3rd quarter. TMP is up by 28. We will be back. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hins and his team have over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
And there is Norton's first play from scrimmage here in the 3rd quarter. It was not a good snap to quarterback, center to quarterback exchange, and ball was fumbled, and they lost about a foot on that play.
Yep, you just basically lost the play on offense if you're Norton. 2nd down and 10 upcoming, and they just need something to start clicking on offense. Between last week and this week, Norton's offense has been struggling. They just need to find out what tempo works for them, who's going to be the players to make the plays. So far it's been Batchman and, of course, the quarterback.
Yep, so Katz is the quarterback. He's going to keep it. He's been successful all night except for now. Katz just fumbled the ball. TMP recovers it.
It's a 2nd lost fumble tonight. First one was on the first play of the ball game, and now this one, the 2nd play of the 2nd half from Norton.
Yeah, Backman had the first one back at the beginning of the game, and I'm not sure who that was for TMP that picked it up, but the Cats before that had 6 carries unofficially for 64 yards and picked up about 3 or 4 on that one, but just lost it. Lyles, handoff up the middle. Jackson Gillespie gets the call again. He is brought down at the 30. They're going to mark him at the 33-yard line, pickup of 4 on the play.
I think there's 2 groups you got to give credit to there. The offensive line just had a gaping hole right open for Gillespie to run the ball, but also Norton's linebackers just completely stopped that play. He had a little bit of space to run, and Norton coming up with a stop, 2nd down and 6.
So it's a handoff up the, no, it's a quarter. I'm sorry, I thought he had handed it off to Derek Becker, but Lyles picks up 6, and let's call it 7. And he's going to move the sticks.
He did exactly what he needed to. He faked it. He faked us up here even, and that was an excellent run. Excellent run, excellent fake. All around good play there. 1st down and 10. TMP knocking on the door now.
And again, the flex bone offense, and that will put Dinkle in motion. Dinkle gets the swing pass and tackled right off the bat. You can hear the Norton defensive coach up here praising his strong safety, Justin Weigel, with the loss, and that's a loss for TMP. Haven't seen too many of those tonight, but a loss of 4 brings up 2nd and, let's call it 5, 2nd and 15.
Yep, excellent open field tackle there by Weigel. Wrapped it around his ankles and just stopped him in his tracks. 2nd down and long.
Jackson Gillespie tonight has been pretty successful.
False start.
And a false start on.
It was over here on this receiver.
TMP.
Number 20.
Yep, that's Grant Nels.
Yep.
Grant got a little excited for that play, and TMP's going the wrong way, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 20, and we saw that at the end of the towards the end of the first half. And
for as jumpy as he was, I think he might be running a route.
Yep, and they're going to look like they may run the same play, and it is a pass intended for Jacob Seib on the right side, and Jacob was double covered over there, and ball falls incomplete.
Yep, I figured as soon as he kind of jumped off sides, I was thinking he's going out for a route. He wants the football in his hands on a route, and sure enough, they decided to run the same play. It just didn't work 2nd time around.
So 3rd and 20 now, and interesting to see what Coach Stevenson calls. TMP last year was 5-4, and like I said last week, Lyles threw for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's got the ball again. He is looking for nails deep at the 50.
Wow!
A catch, a sliding catch at the 6-yard line. That was a great throw and a great catch. Just right over, just dropped it exactly where Lyles needed to put that for Nels.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best catches you probably could have made in that situation. He just leaned right back into it, right over his shoulder, and made the catch. That's a huge 1st down for TMP, setting up a 1st and goal.
Yeah, that's 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
And so it's 1st and goal now with the ball at the 6. We're going to call that a 30-yard reception to Nels, and that's his first catch of the game. And Lyles is going to keep it, and he is going to scatter into the end zone for the 6-yard touchdown. And
yeah, you got to give credit to Gillespie. He just did the lead blocking there, completely cut off that defensive end, I think it was, and just untouched right in the end zone. Another 6 on the board. It's 40-6.
6.5 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and Lyles, who just scrambled in for that 6-yard touchdown run, is set to kick the extra point. He missed the last one. Well, he didn't actually miss it. It was a fumble. It was just kind of a not a good hold, but he makes this one. We are now with 41 to 6, 6:31 left to go here in the third quarter. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there. Because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
Well, this is looking very familiar. Another kickoff for TMP is fresh off of a 6-yard touchdown run by quarterback Carson Lyles, and he kicked the extra point, and he's going to kick the ball off here, and Norton just kind of watches it bounce into the end zone. We got a touchback, and so Norton's going to set up shop here on their own 20, and I haven't played high school football. It's been a while, Tate. It was after the Leatherhead days, but
you said it, not me.
But I've been in these games where nothing's just going your way.
Yep.
Right. And it's really hard to keep your spirits up, especially when you look at the scoreboard. It's like, oh man, we're down by 35 points, and there's still 6.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your spirits up, but you got to take this game and try to score as many points as you can and take it as a learning opportunity.
I formation, pitch out to the right side. This is Tyler Backman. Gets knocked out of bounds at close to the 20, right on the 25-yard line, and Backman will pick up 5 yards.
Nice little run.
Yep.
2nd down and 5. Just get something going on offense, Norton. That's all you got to do. Get some points on the board. Just keep the ball moving up the field.
Yeah, and it's the old phrase that my father used to tell me, when things didn't look good or you had a huge project, I don't even know where to begin. How do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So I formation for Norton, back to pass his Cats, can't find a receiver. Now he does, throws it off to the right side. He tried to get it over there to Weigel, and Cats threw that ball on the run. That's awfully hard to do in high school football.
Yeah, and it seems like every time they're back to throw the ball, there's just no time for him to sit in the pocket and throw a nice pass. He's always running on his feet. It's especially hard to throw the football when you're running to your opposite side arm. So, that's just unfortunate. 3rd down and 5 upcoming. Need a first down.
Well, the TMP defensive line, 2 of them, one is Diego Fernandez. He's 230 pounds. Kenneth Walker is 215 pounds. And back to pass, and he's got a receiver open, and he was knocked, and there's the pass interference.
Yep. He was basically knocked out of bounds there.
He was, yep. So sometimes you just got to throw the ball up and hope something good happens. And for Norton, it worked out in their favor. It wasn't a reception, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. So that should move the ball out to about the 40-yard line.
35, 10 yards.
35, it's 10 yards. Okay. Either way, it's an automatic first down, and first set of downs now is Cats staying in a quarterback. Shotgun formation, drops back. He's looking for his receiver, flushed out of the pocket again. He's got a wide receiver wide open on the right side. That's Backman, knocked out of bounds at about the 46-yard line, and that's good for a first down.
Yeah, nice little throw on the run right there to Batchman. You know, get the first down, especially after that PI on the other end of the field. Norton's got something going. See if they can just take it all the way down the field and put some points on the board.
Gain of 11 on that. As we approach the halfway mark of the third quarter here in Norton. Blue Jays trying to put it together, their second scoring drive of the ball game, as Cats has been pretty much in shotgun formation all year. He's looking long, and there's nobody open, so he is going to tuck the ball and run, and gets it out to the 50 and picks up 4 yards on the play. Well, let's give him 3. Brings up second down and 7.
Yeah, all you got to do is improvise there. Nothing was open downfield. Take off, get what yards you can. It's going to be a second down and maybe a long 6 or maybe 7 yards.
We'll get you some more updated scores here, as pretty much every game in the state is in the second half. Going into motion is Backman, but it's going to be a quarterback keep up the middle for Cats. It's unofficially his 9th carry of the game, and picks up 3 yards on that as well.
Yeah, they're kind of relying on 2 players right now. It's Cats along with Batchman. They're kind of faking it both ways. That time it's going to set up a third down and 3 now here for Norton. They're moving the ball to the field well here in the start of the second half. So let's see if they can keep it moving.
And that was the issue in the first half, is they could not just get a rhythm going. And right now things are starting to click, but there's a flag on the play, and it's a caught pass by Valling, but there's a flag on the play, and most likely this is going to come back.
Yeah, there's 2 flags, one kind of near the 40-yard line and one towards the 45 on the other end of the field. I can't tell if there's 2 flags on the field or not. I mean, there's 2 flags on the ground, but...
Yeah, or 2 penalties maybe. So the refs are trying to figure this one out. Neither team is moving. Norton's not moving back, and TMP's not moving back either, but it looks like it's going to be an eligible man downfield for Norton. So that will negate another first down.
I think one of their offensive linemen was just a little bit too far up the field on the pass. That's all it was. I think you get 2 yards, 2 or 3 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage before it's counted. I think it's 2. So now it's third down and call it 11.
So let's see if the Norton offensive line can protect Cats here a little bit. He is flushed out, and it is a pass, and it is incomplete. And Saib is down. Saib, it bounced off his fingers, and just as he was going to grab his own tip, he got nailed by that Monarch secondary.
Yeah, this TMP defense, they're hard hitting. I mean, they have caused a lot of trouble to Norton tonight. A lot of players that are kind of banged up, and you're kind of seeing it. We saw it a lot in the first half.
Yep, Saib is kind of walking off gingerly and kind of has his hand on his left backside, and he got popped pretty hard there.
Yep.
So it's going to bring up fourth down and 11. And Norton's going to have to punt this one away again. And here's Cats. And Cats gets a nice kickoff. And it is taken at the 23-yard line. Plenty of running room. He's got one man to beat. That's Cats, and he gets spun out of bounds. But a really nice punt return there by Saib.
Yeah, if Cats isn't there, that's to the house with that speed.
So we saw a fumble and two interception returns for a touchdown, and so I guess to get the bingo card filled out, you're going to need a kickoff and a punt return for a touchdown. But Saib has he had that 18-yard interception return for a touchdown on early in that first quarter.
Starting off with good field positioning here for TMP. They're looking to put some more points on the board. 41-6.
Yeah, it was 28-6 when this first started, and it was a long pass to Nels, and he grabs another one. Wow. Unbelievable.
That's just a great throw.
It was an excellent throw. 29 yards on that completion to Nels.
You know, if you're Norton, you know, you see that TMP's passing the ball on both ends of the field. You know, you might have to drop two safeties back there to cover, kind of help coverage. But here, 4.5 left in the third, and TMP's knocking on the door once again at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, they're not taking the foot off the pedal at all. Lyles is going to keep this himself as an option, and he is going to score the 15-yard touchdown, and at the end of the play, there was a flag.
It was thrown right where he crossed the end zone at, so I don't know if there's a holding or –
it could be a myriad of things. It could taunting, or it could be, who knows?
Because that flag came all the way from across the field, so.
Okay, so it's a hold on TMP.
There's just a late hold, it seemed like, right near the end zone, so.
So that's going to negate Lyles' touchdown run. He's already got one tonight. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. So the ball is going to be marked at the 10-yard, let's call it the 11-yard line. 4:11 left to go here in the third quarter. And Norton trying to keep TMP out of the end zone again.
Same play, but this time they hand it off.
Yep, hand it off, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The runner of that was Isaac Perrington, and Perrington's caught a 54-yard touchdown pass tonight. I think they wanted to see him get a rushing touchdown, but
yeah, it's going to be a first down and goal now from the 2. You got to put it in, and to be honest, I don't see any trouble with TMP doing it after the last couple rushes.
TMP just seems to be clicking on all cylinders tonight, Tate, and Lyles is going to hand it off up the middle. This is Gillespie. And he is stopped before the goal line. Good job by that front line, that front defensive line of Norton to keep Gillespie out of the end zone.
Yeah, that was an excellent job. You know, you got a first down and goal from the 3, and now you got a player down on Norton. We saw quite a bit of this last week with the cramping situations when it started to get a little cool outside. And this could be a cramp or it could be an injury. We're not 100% sure.
Yeah, we're not sure who it is. But let's take a quick timeout. 3:41 left to go in the third quarter, 41-6. TMP with the lead over Norton. We'll be back. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Norton Blue Jay Game Time boosters, Moffett Drugstore, Graham Construction, and Roy's Sales and Service, Brian and Kate Fonnet Steel owners. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from CarQuest of Norton, Midwest Mill, and BEB and Associates. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
We're back in Norton. It was Coprail's back, the defensive lineman that was injured, and he was able to walk off under his own power. And speaking of power, there's Gillespie for the with the handoff, and that's another touchdown for TMP, just right up the middle, and not much Norton could do to stop that one.
Yeah, just right up the middle. That's all you needed to do. Sure enough, that makes it a 41-point ball game. Looking to make it 42 with a field goal.
3:23 left to go, and Lyles is going to set up to kick his another PAT, and it is up, and it is true.
I mean, it's right down the middle every time, isn't it, Steve?
Every single time, yep. Other than that botched hold earlier in the game, he has been straight and true on those extra points. Let's get you up to date, I guess, Tate, on some scores around the area, as most of the games now are heading into the fourth quarter. Locally, we've got Goodland over Southwest Heights 55-0. What else do we have here? Smith Center over Phillipsburg 16-8. They're in the third quarter. Any ones that you are seeing that I'm not yet?
Nope, I think I see the same ones you do. A lot of Eastern Kansas scores, but from around here, not much.
Victoria over Central Plains with 7 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Victoria over Central Plains 16-14. And we'll keep you up to date. There's some a lot of games going on. Goodland and Hayes and
Great
Osborne
Bend.
and Great Bend and Hoxie. Hoxie was down big. I don't see any score updates for the Hoxie game, but as soon as we get them, folks, you will be the first to know. All righty. So Lyles is set to kick off yet again, 48-6, TMP with the lead, and kind of makes you wonder if Coach Stevenson, and here we go again, it's like Groundhog Day, right? The ball goes out the back of the end zone, and Lyles has got a heck of a leg, and so kind of makes you wonder if Coach Stevenson is going to maybe bring in some of his younger players to get some action, or is it too late?
I mean,
too early.
I mean, it's kind of a coach's call. You know, you still have 3 minutes left in this third quarter. You don't want to risk hurting your depth, but at the same time, that's your players that are going to be coming up next year. So the more playing time they get, the less green they'll be up next year. So
absolutely. So Katz back under center, back to pass. Crossing route, and there's a flag on the play. The ball is incomplete. As the intended receiver, Weigel, tried to slide and catch that one, but it's going to be holding against the Blue Jays most likely. Yep, holding against Norton. So instead of 1st and 10 at the 20, it's going to be 1st and 20 at the 10.
Yeah, that'll hurt them a little bit, but
some updates for you. Plainville over Sacred Heart going into the third quarter, 51-0.
Oh wow!
Hayes has beaten Choctaw, Oklahoma, 14-6. That's also in the third. Just some updates that just came in. Katz, here's a pitch out. This is going to Backman. Backman is going to make it out to about the 15 before he is brought down by Cade Schlotman over on the right side. So pick up a 5.
If I'm Norton, I don't think it's too bad of an idea to air it out a couple times, but run the ball, try to get some yards and see what you can do just like you did there. Keep the ball in Backman's hands if you can.
Yep.
And maybe surprise TMP with a throw, later on. But right now, 2.5 left in the third. Norton just trying to get something going. It's been tough sledding here for them.
It sure has. Backman has a touchdown pass in this ball game. their only score of the game. Here's the handoff to the left side. This is Backman. And Backman breaks a few tackles, cuts back across field, loses the ball. But I think he fell back on it.
He did.
He was very fortunate to jump back on that. After all that running, he picked up about 4 yards.
Yeah, that was shifty. I mean, he was making some defenders miss, but gotta hang on to the football at the same time. That's one of the downfalls when you're that shifty. You know, you're moving so quick. Sometimes that ball just fall out of your hands. That was one of the cases. TMP's defense playing some good football here.
So Backman's a senior. He's an all MCL last year, 550 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns on 96 carries. He also caught the ball 22 times, 309 receiving yards. And then he also had 3 interceptions on defense last year. Well, here's a little trickeration. Backman launching it deep, and it is picked off. That is Nash Dreiling, number 5, with the interception. And
sophomore,
yes, sir. Yep, Nash Dreiling, the sophomore, and just things not going well right now for the Norton Blue Jays.
Yeah, I don't know if there was another choice of where to throw it. I mean, he was double teamed all the way down there, and you know, Batchman just heaving it up, trying to find something. That was one of those plays where I was kind of trying to call it as a, you know, catch TMP off guard, but they were all over it, unfortunately. And what is that, the 5th turnover of the ball game now for Norton?
Yep, yes, sir. And okay, so they're going to keep the starting lineup in there for TMP and tried a little reverse action there, but nothing going for Parrington as he gets brought down, loss of a yard.
Yeah, it didn't fool the defensive ends at all. They tried that reverse. It was open for just a sec, but man, number 35 for Norton, Owen Clark, got all the way out there and just made a play. Loss of, call it 2 yards.
Yeah, pretty close. So we'll call it 2nd and 12. Minute 9 left to go in the third quarter. TMP with the ball and the commanding 42-point lead over Norton here in Norton. And a hard count and 3 defensive linemen for Norton took the bait. And so it's a free 5 yards for TMP.
Our first hard count of the night, Steve.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that last year.
Just about once a drive last week, it seemed like. That time it fooled Norton.
So instead of 2nd and 12, well, 2nd and 11, they're going to call it 2nd and 6 now after the 5-yard penalty by Norton. And so they're going to put Caden Dinkle and also Jacob Seib split right. And, well, Lyles is going to keep this one. He is dangerous, and he breaks some tackles, and he has got one man to beat and finally wrestled out of bounds by Braylon Brooks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play, man. He's fast. Got all the way to the outside, and there was nowhere to beat but one.
Yep.
Norton did a good job catching up to him, but I got 40 seconds and ticking left in this third quarter.
You know, Carson Lyles had 1,306 yards passing last year and 10 touchdowns and at a clip of about 63% completion rate. I don't have any stats on him, though, for his rushing, but tell you what, he's lethal with his arm and with his leg. Here is a handoff, and they're going to tackle him just inside the 1 yard line. That was Isaac Parrington again.
Nice little triple option there from TMP. Now they're knocking on the door with 12 seconds on the clock and a chance to go up by more than 45 points here. This should take us to the end of the third quarter and head into our final 12.
So they're going to let the clock run down, and they're going to switch sides of the field. And so we are through 3 quarters of play here in Norton. It's 48-6. TMP with the big lead and knocking on the door again. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you will be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
We're in the fourth and final frame here in Norton, a big MCL clash between two familiar foes. We got TMP out of Hayes and we've got Norton, and right now it's all going TMP's way. They're up 48-6, just starting the fourth quarter, and they are knocking on the door again. So TMP has the ball at the 1 yard line. It's first down and goal to go. So Lyles is still out there. Gillespie, so running backs had a big game as well, and going to hand it to Gillespie, give him the ball again, and they will. And it is a TMP touchdown. That is Gillespie, who gets his second touchdown rushing of the night.
Wow. Yeah, TMP's just working on all cylinders tonight against his Blue Jay defense, and they're going to start running the clock here for this fourth quarter.
Yep.
Third quarter seemed like it lasted quite a long time, a lot of clock stops, but this one, I think it's going to fly by here, Steve.
We're going to have a running clock here, and so 14 points scored by TMP in the third quarter. And just like clockwork,
it's easy.
Lyles straight and easy. So it is now 54-6 with TMP in the lead. We're going to send it back to our sponsors, and we will be back. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to these Norton Game Time boosters, Bailey Ag Solutions Inc., and New Age Industrial Corporation. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from New Look Body Shop and Gall Motors Inc., along with professional fire equipment, longtime full season booster of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents. Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
No, they play all four
So
quarters.
we are in a rolling clock situation as TMP has surpassed the 45-point lead mark, and so up 55-6 now. And Carson Lyles, they're going to have to ice his leg. He's had a lot of kickoffs, a lot of extra points, but he's showing no signs of slowing down as he kicks it off into the end zone yet again.
Yeah, other than playing quarterback, man, he's having a heck of a night with the leg. A lot of touchbacks, holding him back to the 20-yard line. Hasn't missed a extra point quite yet. Knock on wood, I should do. But, this clock running, this game's going to tick down very fast. I'd be surprised if TMP gets another full drive out of its hands unless there's another turnover.
So we got a final.
Wow.
Smith Center over Phillipsburg, 16-14.
Wow, that might be that's a big MCL game right there.
It is, and that's where Norton goes. Norton goes to Smith Center next week, and TMP takes on Phillipsburg. That kind of opens things wide open here in the MCL. There's a long pass, and it is almost picked off as Grant Nails almost got another interception, and I think that was certainly a catchable ball.
Yeah.
And that was intended for the tight end, Caden Enfield. Forgot his name for a second.
Norton just trying to get a big play. Trying to end on a high note here tonight. You know, they had that one big play, and they haven't had anything since. They just want to get something underneath their belt so they can move on to next week.
Yeah, put this week behind them. As Katz is in shotgun formation. He's going to keep it running up the middle, and not much going there. And it's going to bring up third down, and let's call it 8. And we're on a rolling clock, and with 7.5 left to go. And
oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. I'm like, dang, 7 minutes already.
So, Jeremy Hawks, he's the first-year head coach here in Norton, but he's been a part of that program as a longtime assistant here in Norton. And the previous coach, and I thought I had him on my list here, but he became the athletic director, and so Katz going back to pass, finds the receiver, and it is over the hands of his intended receiver, Dominic Balling. So it's fourth down. The clock's still running, 6:45 left to go in the ball game, and I think you got to punt it.
I think they're just going to punt it away. It looks like it.
And I think Coach Grant Stevenson's going to call off the Dogs and make everything kind of very vanilla for the rest of this ball game. And
I mean, you already have kind of a hurt team. You don't want to, try to risk them on offense anymore. Just punt the ball away, let TMP get back on offense, and take your medicine and look forward to Smith Center next week, which, from what we know, it's not going to be a very easy task.
They just beat Phillipsburg, and flag on the play and delay of game against Norton, and just kind of salt on the wound a little bit there.
Yep.
So deep to receive for TMP is Nash Dreiling, who's the deep man, and Jacob Seib is the other one back there. Just kind of a bobbled snap, and it bounces into the hands of Nash Dreiling and brought down hard at the 38-yard line. And
no, we haven't seen a lot of Nash Dreiling today, but he had the nice interception, and now he's got that return. He might be a player that's gets a lot of play time here in varsity as a sophomore.
Yep.
TMP might be playing kind of the younger kids right now, but he seems like he's got a little bit of talent coming up.
So it looks like at first appearance that's going to be it for Carson Lyles as quarterback, and on their roster, well, I'm not sure who the backup quarterback. I mean, they're in no hurry to get a play called off, and in fact, TMP is going to call.
I don't know if they're going to call timeout or delay the game. Timeout, yep.
Okay, so that will stop the clock with 4:34 left to go in the ball game, and so it's just a tough night for Norton. Their opening game tonight, and a lot of hometown fans here, and
yeah, it's just one of those nights for Norton. I think they have a pretty young team. Like you said, a little while ago. They lost 15 seniors.
And that's
a majority of your squad right there. I
Absolutely.
mean, you come back with a whole new fresh team, a fresh coach, maybe some new offensive plays. You know, there's a lot to adapt to if you're Norton, and you know, and you gotta keep it up. You know, Mid-Continent League, it's a tough league in every sport, men or boys, girls, whatever sport it is. It's always a tough competition. And TMP being in Hayes, they always seem to be, you know, up there when it comes to the top 2 or 3. It's a tough league, and especially when you have this much changes in a year. You know, we've said it once or twice, but it's not a rebuild, it's a reload. It's all it is.
Absolutely. And one thing I neglected to mention is, you know, TMP comes with a lot of experience. In fact, their offensive line are all seniors.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so so I found that, well, that can't be because Kenneth Walker is a sophomore. So 4 out of the 5.
And you can tell, you know, Lyles, like you said, he was quarterback last year. You can definitely tell he's played quarterback for a year. He's not a green quarterback.
Nope, there's a handoff to Dinkle around the right side, and Caden's going to pick up a couple of yards. And yeah, where they're spotting in, it's going to be they're going to give him 2 yards.
Yep.
2nd and 8 as the clock continues to run. So new quarterback, I believe I saw 15. That's Derek Becker.
Yep.
Who is a senior, and they're just swapping a lot of players in and off the field. And the game clock's at 3:45. The play clock's down to 10.
Yeah, they're taking their time. There's no need to rush anything.
Absolutely. So Becker's the new quarterback. He says, hurry up, we got 3 seconds. He gets the ball snapped in time, and it's a handoff up the middle or a gain of close to 3 yards. That's Eli Beffert. Beffert, the freshman.
Definitely playing some young kids.
Absolutely. Parrington, who started the game tonight at the slot position for TMP. He's out, and he's probably done for the game, and give these kids a chance to pick up some varsity action as handoff goes to Beffert again, and not much going there for Beffert, and in fact he's going to lose about a yard. That's going to bring up 4th down, and the clock's down to 2:45 left in the game, and a punt. All it's not going to matter, but it looks like that's what Coach Stevenson's going to do is, as Carson Lyles is back in the game, most likely as the punter, not the quarterback. And,
they're kicking a field goal.
Okay, folks, we got a field goal attempt, so the ball will be spotted at the 40.
The 37.
Yeah, at the 43. Oh, it's a botched snap, and just throwing it away and that's a good way to get your quarterback hurt. But that was an attempt.
There's a flag. I don't know what happened back there.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but it was right where the tackle was made. But the kick was going to be from the 43 intentional grounding.
Okay.
Yeah, so the kick was going to be from the 43. So that would have been a 53-yard field goal attempt. And I'm telling you what, if it wasn't for the bad snap, he probably could have made that. He's got the leg, because pretty much every kickoff in this game has gone through the back of the end zone. And
yeah, he had a chance if it was a good snap, for sure.
So the clock continues to run. They're marching off the penalties. 1:20 left to go in this ball game, and TMP's going to have a nice ride home tonight.
Yeah, they give Norton in pretty good field positioning. See if they can get one more score on the board.
One more score on the board.
The young kids are in.
Yep, so we got a new quarterback, and that's Luke Clydesdale, freshman. Luke hands off up the middle and breaks it out to the left side, and wow, that almost looks like a face mask, but
a little sketchy.
Yeah, that was Owen Clark with the rush, with that run, and picks up about 12, 13 yards.
They want points. They're getting to the
They
ball
do.
quick, and
They
TMP
do.
still subbing out. There's a receiver completely wide open here on the right side.
But they're going to hand it off again up the middle to Clark. And, I think they're trying to get this ball in the end zone. And, I hate to call it timeout, but, so this is pretty much going to be the last play unless if they score a touchdown. So let's see what happens here. Clydesdale pitches it out. This is Owens again. He's got open field. He cuts it back, and he is tackled hard at the 5-yard line, and that is going to be the ball game, folks. Just make sure there wasn't a flag on the play to end this ball game, but that is going to be it. So TMP comes up here to Norton and pretty much commanded this game from start to finish. 55-6 is your final score here in Norton. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the game and see if we can get some more finals in for you, and then we will wrap it up for the night. You are watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Norton Blue Jay Game Time Boosters, Moffett Drugstore, Graham Construction, and Roy Sales and Service, Brian and Kate Fauna Steel owners. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from CarQuest of Norton, Midwest Mill, and BEB and Associates. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays. A special thanks to these Norton Game Time Boosters, Bailey Ag Solutions Inc., and New Age Industrial Corporation. These proud supporters stand behind the Norton students and athletes. Go Fight Win from New Look Body Shop and Gall Motors Inc., along with Professional Fire Equipment, longtime full season booster of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. Go Fight Win Blue Jays.
55-6?
Yep, 55-6.
55-6 is the final here in Norton. TMP Monarchs pick up their first win of the season, and the Blue Jays of Norton fall to 0-2. And just a rough night for Norton. They just couldn't get any offensive momentum going.
Yeah,
in this ball game.
You can definitely tell that this is a new Norton team from last year. I mean, they lost 15 seniors like we talked about earlier, and that offense production is just not quite there. Maybe some younger kids playing, a new coach this year, new schemes, new plays. I've said it several times, but it's just it's a tough start of the season for Norton. You got to play a tough MCL schedule as well. It just there's a lot of different things that come into play, and this TMP team, they have experience on their side on the offensive front, even at quarterback. So, TMP is going to have a pretty good season. I have a feeling, of course, 1-1 on the year. Norton dropping to 0-2 is TMP's offense tonight was just rolling all over Norton, and Norton just couldn't get anything going, like we were saying. And they got that one score on the board. They were trying to get one late, just unable to do so, and they have a tough game coming up next week.
Yeah, and it was, Norton struggled last week in Oakley with turnovers, and a lot of turnovers tonight, 5 or 6 turnovers, and it's hard to win games when you're coughing the ball up. So I'm sure that's going to be a focus for Coach Hawks and his young Norton team.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a lot to learn. Take this game, use it as a learning experience, move on to the next, and see if you can improve next week. That's all you can do is just play better next week, learn from your mistakes. Less turnovers will make a big difference. There's a lot of things that combine into a poor game, and all you can do is move forward and learn.
Well said, my friend. So, trying to get some, we got some finals around the area. Lacrosse beat Logan Palco 20-18 tonight in Logan. Let's see, what else do we have here for you guys? I mean, the finals are starting to roll in, but I just want to give you folks some local scores. I believe Victoria won their game over Central Plains 22-20. Just trying to see if we can get some more games. We talked about it earlier. I think that the Hoxie game is probably long over. But we don't have a final score on that. What about your sources over there?
Well, I got Goodland defeating Southwestern Heights 68-0. We kind of talked about that one a little earlier. Not a lot of local scores coming out on our source at the moment. Like you said, Hoxie dropping another one. We assume they were down, I think it was 40-6 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a reloading year, of course. But other than that, Hayes 14, Choctaw 6. That was 27 minutes ago, so that could have changed. But other than that, that's about all I can find. I think me and you have the same source anyways.
I think you're right. And so we are off next week.
Yep.
And in 2 weeks on the 26th, we are going to be Joaquini. The breeze up here, it feels nice up here, but it keeps blowing my papers away. So we will be in Joaquini for the Wichita County and Trigo game right here on Nex-Tech Local 1.
So it's going to be a good game. I have a feeling we're in for a treat up there in Joaquini.
I believe so. You got defending state champion, right, with Wichita County, and you've got a Joaquini team that is starting to make some noise, and so that we're going to look forward to that game coming up here in 2 weeks. So that's going to do it, Tate.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody tonight watching us here on Nex-Tech Local 1, and big shout out to our sponsors, Hayes Rec, Nex-Tech Wireless, Mapes and Miller, Redeem Designs, High Plains Podiatry, Phillips County Hospital, and Nex-Tech.
It's always a pleasure, Steve.
Yes, sir.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. And you had dual role tonight.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What you folks may not know is that not only was Tate doing the color commentary, he was also running a camera.
Yep, I was trying my hardest. I might have missed one or two plays, but brain's working two things at once. So
yeah, yes, sir.
I'm glad everyone bared with me.
All right. Well, again, the final score 55-6. TMP is going home victorious tonight, and Norton got a lot of things to work on in practice this coming week. So that's going to do it. So for Tate Reynolds, I'm Steve Stoltz. Thanks for joining us tonight on Game Time here on Network Local 1. Have a great night, everybody.